The reality of maritime life is anchored on courage balanced with caution and skill tempered with humility. For every safe voyage, there is a captain and crew who have listened to the whispers of the waves and steered wisely. Welcome to another interesting episode of Nimasa this week, where it's all about the world of maritime. I remain your anchor, Moyoluwa Olutayo. I'm super excited to have you join us on today's episode. Once again, welcome on board.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
The ocean sustains life on Earth as we know it. It allows us to breathe and regulate our climate. The ocean brings food to our table, connects people across continents, and provides global blueways for the ships which transport 80% of world trade. But our ocean is under threat. Plastic pollution, rising temperatures, acidification, overfishing. Our oceans is struggling to keep up with human pressure. The ocean's decline isn't a coincidence. It's driven by human activities. But that also means that we have the power to reverse it. It is our obligation to work collaboratively to reduce pollution, protect marine life, and shift to sustainable habits. Protecting and restoring the ocean is not just a duty. It is our opportunity to build a healthier planet, stronger economies, and a safer future for generations to come.
Welcome back. The program is still Nimasa this week. Next, we're spotlighting the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. Maritime safety is a top priority for Nimasa, and as a regulatory body and enforcement agency, security efforts are put in place to protect vessels, crew, and cargoes, as well as preventing environmental damage. Also, the agency works with other relevant agencies to prevent piracy, oil theft, and other maritime crimes. Stay tuned on the program. I'll be right back.
The Director General of Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Dr. Dayo Mubiriola, recently disclosed that the Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization, Arsenio Dominguez, is scheduled to pay a 3-day working visit to Nigeria between the 2nd and the 4th of October 2025. Dr. Mubiriola made the revelation while receiving the Flag Officer Commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Michael Gregory Oamen, who recently paid a courtesy visit to the agency's Lagos headquarters. During the visit, the Nimasa DG emphasized the achievements gained from this partnership. He particularly highlighted the reduction of piracy and maritime crimes as evidence of this success, which extends beyond Nigerian waters to positively impact on the Gulf of Guinea.
If I'm not exaggerating, that probably this is one of the best collaboration that exists in Nigeria today, the Navy and the Nimasa. The positive effect is quite glaring, both nationally and internationally. Nigeria is being recognized, like you rightly said, as a safe and secured maritime nation, where vessels worth millions of dollars, not to mention the goods that they are carrying. Anytime we go out, the question that is always being asked is that you've done well so far in terms of securing the maritime territorial water, and also contributed to the reduction of piracy, sea crimes in the Gulf of Guinea.
He further disclosed that during his visit, the IMO Secretary General will tour the Nigerian Navy installations as well as Nimasa facilities in Lagos, underscoring the significance of Nigeria's efforts in enhancing maritime security and promoting international maritime cooperation.
I want to state officially that the Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization will be visiting Nigeria the first week of October. And he would also be visiting some of the naval facilities, as well as Nimasa's facilities. And most importantly, he would like to see the collaboration between the two government agencies.
On his part, Rear Admiral Oamen commended Nimasa's current management for its sustained collaboration with the Nigerian Navy, noting that such synergy remains critical to the growth and stability of the maritime sector.
So as you are aware, the last decade, as it were, has witnessed a lot of transformation in our maritime sector. Luckily for the Navy, we've had more investment in terms of infrastructure assets. And this has helped us to develop that capability to be able to show presence in our maritime environment, and it has helped to reduce to the barest minimum those maritime challenges that confront us. We do not want to go back to those days where, it was so unsafe for shippers to fly, Gulf of Guinea and of course our lines of communication. So we need to continue to collaborate and sustain, what we have achieved and ensure that it impacts positively on our national economy.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, through its Marine Environment Management Department, recently organized a sensitization program for industry stakeholders on offshore waste reception facilities. The event, themed Nimasa's Responsibilities and Statutory Obligation to Provide Offshore Waste Reception Facilities, underscores the agency's commitment to achieving and sustaining international best practices in Nigeria's maritime industry, particularly in line with the global shift towards greener technologies and sustainable practices. Delivering the keynote address, the agency's Executive Director Operations, Engineer Fatai Adeyemi, highlighted the critical importance of Nigeria's offshore environment to the nation's economy, powering industries, creating livelihoods, and sustaining growth. He stressed the need to protect marine ecosystems, not only to secure these benefits, but also to safeguard navigational safety and public health. Also speaking at the event, the agency's Director of Marine Environment Management Department, Mr. Hiki Dimowo, provided background on the theme and explained the rationale for convening the sensitization program. The technical sessions featured lectures delivered by Dr. Akim Lawal Murun KG and the Deputy Director of the Pollution Prevention Unit, Mr. Siraj Usman. The event, hosted in Warri Delta State, drew participation from Nigerian Ports Authority's Delta Ports in Warri, the Nigerian Navy's NNS Delta, Port Health Services, Matrix Energy Limited, Salbus Oil, African Circle Pollution Management Limited, Awarishe Nigeria Limited, Super Maritime Nigeria Limited, and SNAPCO, among others. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, is committed to upholding global best practices in the delivery of maritime services across Nigeria. By leveraging modern tools that ensure efficiency and effectiveness, Nimasa is driving the development of indigenous capacity while working to eliminate barriers within the maritime sector. At the core of this effort is the Nimasa Library, a hybrid facility combining digital and traditional resources, supporting maritime learning, research, and innovation. With a vision to become a world-class maritime knowledge hub, the library embraces technologies such as 5G and the Internet of Things, enhancing global visibility and access, even in remote locations. Now let's hear from Modinat Rosimi, a library officer at Nimasa, as she takes us on a tour of the facility and its unique offerings.
Welcome to Nimasa Library. My name is Rosimi Modinat, a library officer. I'm going to show you around the library, the resources and the facilities we have. Please come with me. This is the circulation unit. First contact when you're coming to the conventional library. You come here, you can read here, then you always register user here and you borrow books as well and return. So we have digitized and manual system which we use. The digitized system is we use the active shelf to register user, to borrow books, and the manual one as well. Sometimes we can use their book to write out their names and their details. So majority of the staffs and stakeholders are registered on the active shared platform. Okay, this is a book sterilizing machine. Actually, it's removed the dust and microorganisms from the book to preserve the books. So this is how it works. So you can see it's sterilizing the book here, removing all the germs and fungi from the books. Okay, and this is a book binder. We use it for project materials and other library materials. So the binder grips the books to make it firm. This is actually different from the regular binder. It uses each process to bind the books. This is the media unit where you come to watch TV and programs on YouTube, CNN, different channels, and Nimasa this week as well. And also we do group discussion here. People come here for brief meetings and book reviews. This is the reference room where reference books are kept. Example of the books you'll find here are the encyclopedia and books. We have the maritime dictionary, reference manuals, engineering dictionaries, and books on maritime security and atlas, and many more others. This is the digital room where we scan documents and books and upload. This is one of the scanners here, and okay, and that's it. These are other scanners. Okay. So this is a foil printer. This is where we conclude the bind books to write their labels and their topics. We do that within the library as well.
We also had a quick chat with the head of the library, Aisha Askira, who shared her insights into the vision of the Nimasa Library.
The vision of this library was established to have a maritime library in Nigeria. We want to have a knowledge-based maritime administration in Nigeria. We want people to have knowledge, to gain knowledge. Maritime shipping is something people are not used to, and they need to gain that knowledge, to gain that information. That's why we're established to serve the generality of the public to access maritime knowledge. Our services are unique because it serves a section of people in the aviation will not come here. So that is why we are special, because we only provide information as it relates to the shipping and maritime industry. The library is being automated. All our services are being automated using the library management software. In libraries, we use a software where we automate our library services. So all the working processes in the library is being automated. So we are using technology to go with current trends. Years back, we used to have a traditional library whereby all our services we're offering is traditional, conventional library services to staff and stakeholders. But over these past few years, the library has been remodeled and transformed to international standard. That's to say, we operate a hybrid type of library, whereby we have electronic type of library and the conventional type of library. So we operate both libraries on first floor and the second floor. The second floor has the electronic library, whereby we have our internet, where we have our computers on the workstations, we have our multipurpose printers, scanners, all connected to the Nimasa network and connected to internet facility. And we have the first floor, whereby we have the traditional, the conventional library, whereby people come, sit down, access the books. We have the physical books, and our circulation desk is also there to serve the general public and staff.
The library is accessible online at www.nimasaelibraryonline.org and is also listed on Google Maps for easy physical access. Open to Nimasa staff, industry stakeholders, Nigerian citizens, and the general public, the Nimasa Library ensures inclusive access to maritime knowledge for all.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa. Changing the tides in your favor.
Hello.
Why do you care about the ocean?
We have a responsibility to protect the ocean because the ships operate on the ocean. And without the oceans, there will be no life on Earth.
Why is there so much plastic in the ocean?
Because all the plastic from the land normally ends up going in the ocean. There's a lot of it.
What can children do to help?
You can be ambassadors. When you see one of your friends throwing plastics on the floor or using too much plastic, you can tell them.
How does your organization help?
We've been regulating the ships for over 50 years in conventions that are dedicated to protecting the environment, and we will not stop.
What is the best part of your job?
It's actually talking to people and listening to people and understand better how we can improve the work that we do for ships to be greener, safer, more sustainable.
Would you say you work more with ships or with, taking care of marine diversity?
We focus on the people, those that work on board the ship, as well as the environment in the different areas where the ships may have a detrimental damage, and that becomes part of our protections for biodiversity. And it's the reason why we want to highlight the oceans as a theme. People don't know everything that we do, and they think that because we are maritime, we only talk about the ship and focus only on the ship. But the reality is that we have a big responsibility for the future of the planet and handing you over something that is worth having and keeping. If we were going to shout out something about the ocean that we want people to protect the ocean to launch the theme, what would you say?
5,
4, 3, 2, 1. IMO, here we go. Let's protect the ocean.
Wow, we've come to the end of today's episode of Nimasa This Week. But before I drop anchor, let me leave you with these 3 golden rules of maritime safety. Whether you are a lover of the sea or you commute via the waterways. 1, always wear your life jacket. 2, follow every safety procedure. And 3, remain alert and sober. I remain your anchor, Moyioluwa Olutayo. Until we meet again next week on this same platform, the same time, the same station, keep keeping on. Bye for now.
There is only one station that others look up to. A station where professionalism and class come to play. So in whatever we do, be it news, sports, politics, information and culture, even in entertainment, tourism, education, documentaries and kids programming,